So, let me try to fix the lighting on this thing. I'm in the car, so clearly. This will give YouTube time to get some people in here. Okay, I think that this is okay. And I may not give y'all no streets or nothing. I'm gonna do this. Okay, cool. This is good. Um, Hi. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the women who serve in the capacity in the space as mothers. And I got the news about Kevin Samuels' death a couple days ago, and I'm still shook. I'm still shook. Now, many of you may be really surprised to hear this, and I don't think that I have any women in my real life network who are like, yeah, I'm feeling Kevin Samuels. One, I think we might be on the same page. We're like, yeah, we can see where he's coming from, But when I had gotten the news, I saw something. I was like, no way, Hi, Christy. Happy Mother's Day. My mind went to the skeptic mind, like, I wonder if somebody did something. And I know that there are a lot of allegations and things that are out there right now. But I want to say this because I was feeling Kevin Samuels. I believe that he is very useful to the marketplace. Of course, his stuff was brutally harsh and funny and brutally honest. Brutally honest. And I'm going to tell you straight up, Kevin Samuels said all the things that I've been afraid to say. And I was kind of like, should I make this video? Should I not make this video? But it was really on my heart because I salute him. It takes a lot of courage for a man to get up here and talk to an audience of women, especially black women, and give it to us straight in the way that he did. And man, there's so much I want to say. I wish I would have written it down, but I was like, I better do this video before I don't do it. So I wanted to just honor the spirit that was inside me. And again, like I said, no matter what you felt about him, his views, because where do I even want to start? So I was saying that I feel that we are at a loss. I feel like I'm shook about it. Like, oh wow, this is so unfortunate. And also just what he was doing for our community. And I know many of you may not even see it this way. You're not gonna see it like this at all, probably. Especially if you did not grow up with men. Then sometimes you may not understand the male perspective, right? And this is what I say, we as women, we are blind to our own charms. So when it comes to the way that men and women interact with each other, it's different. It's very different, just the way that we communicate. Yes, some of this was harsh, but he did it for the views and we watched. Maybe you didn't, but I watched. For the most part, when I wanted some entertainment or I wanted to get my head, keep my ear to the ground about what was happening in the streets, in the internet streets, per se. But here's the thing here is what his message is, and this is what I agree with. Kevin Samuels was about presenting to women, especially black women, what came about as this, like, the delusion of women. Meaning that the man that you want, what does he want? That was Kevin Samuels' brand, or brand pillar, brand question, like the question that his brand answered, right? The man that you want, what does he want? And that is a true question that many women do not ask themselves, because the truth be told, you don't even know what you want. And when you get real, like when you really get real, because if you are serious about relationships, like there are some women who know that they want to have children. Like for me, it was a must. It was, thank God that it came to fruition. And I knew that I wanted to have children. I thought that I didn't, because I grew up with brothers and I was just like, But then I was like, I knew it. I knew that I wanted to be a married woman. That way, in my relationship, I was able to make it a requirement. But when you go around and you don't have strategy to your life and you're just going around willy-nilly, or maybe you just haven't thought about this, you were told to put more effort into your work and business and whatnot. But also, I'm gonna get to some of these questions later because I don't want to lose my train of thought, because y'all know how I can be. But yeah, I'm curious about what you think. Well, not really, because, well, if you're watching me, then I would be curious. I'm not curious really what the masses think, but If you're watching me, then you're part of my tribe. And if you're new to watching me right now, my name is Monique Head. I am the founder of Feminine Influence Finishing School, and we provide advanced online education to Christian women, primarily Black women who desire to attract a man who's husband material. I am a pioneer on the topic of femininity for Black women on YouTube, and you are welcome here. To go back to strategy, right? In terms of strategy, the man that you want, what does he want? And the way that these questions came out and the way that they were presented were very clear that women did not know the type of man that they really wanted. They said that they wanted a high value man, which in his case was ranked in terms of confidence, I think confidence, intelligence, assertiveness, but also money, the amount of money a man is making. Now, we women, it's true, as a basic primitive need, we want to feel secure, right? And historically, well, I would say more recently, I really want to study this even more, but for my generation, you know, late millennial or whatnot, we were raised with the belief that the man is the protector, the man is the provider, that women, you know, we are the domestic domain is our primary arena. But, you know, historically, you know, men and women were both going out and doing their things and, you know, living life. Of course, life is different because it requires a lot of money now in 2022 to live good. So to live, you know, like a lavish lifestyle that everyone's really promoting. And so, yeah, the man that you want, what does he want? Because if you apply that, like when I was going to law school, let me slow down. Do you even apply that to your life? Because when you get clear about what you want, you know what is going to be required of you. So let's say, for example, when I was in law school, or even when I was in Detroit, right, when the automotive industry went down and I had gotten laid off from teaching, the school eventually closed down, which is like a really popular school. I think Dan Gilbert graduated from there. He was like the owner of the what do you call this thing? Look, LeBron James, Cleveland Cavaliers, and like, I don't know if he's Pistons, but anyway, big time. So I was surprised. But anyway, just talking about the impact of the economy on us. And so I was like, okay, I think this is my time to probably go to law school now. What is it going to take? Well, you have to take the LSAT. Okay, you got to study for that. What is it going to take? Oh, it's super competitive. Boom. What does it take to really be at the top in this area? Well, super competitive. You know, good grades, networking, all of these things are required if a person really wants to be a successful attorney. And that is just like the minimum. Take the LSAT to even get in the door. But many women, and this is what bugs me, because so many women are like, he hate women. He do this and he do. I'm like, are you hearing? Are you eating the fish and spitting out the bone, and you just want to complain? And you know, because he's all in my YouTube feed. So one of the things that he recently said was that, you know, when we set our preferences, it's preference, it's standard, it's expectation. But when men do it, it becomes misogyny. And I'm saying this because you're watching this because you want to be able to live in your feminine influence. You want to be able to attract the man who you want, who's going to do for you. But many of the women who I draw, because we are also powerful women in our executive energy, and we want to be able to shift. We want a man who's going to be able to tame us. And you say that that's what you want, but when you get it, and I'm not saying Kevin Samuels is the one, but when he give it to you straight up, you're going to be like, oh. But then you might be like, oh, ain't nobody ever talked to me like that. And I think that was a part of the allure or the charisma of Kevin Samuels, right? Because he was giving it too fresh in a way that women haven't heard before, in a way that he was unafraid, unapologetic, and he was like, y'all gonna get this because we watched it. The views went up even more. So when you are in life and you're talking about getting a job, right, you're gonna do what needs to be done in order to get where you need to go. You're gonna study the thing that you want. But many of us don't study the type of man that we want, or what the type of woman that we have to be just to get what we want in life, period. Because I thought, you know, I want a man I want like a rich dude. I want like a real hot guy. I want like him to wine and dine me. I want him to be all these things. And I had that early. I got all of that in my 20s. So I'm not in my 30s and going into my 40s still seeking. But I remember I had this guy who, in college, wealthy. He spoke 5 languages, only wore white underwear. But the ladies loved him. He loved the ladies. I said, this ain't for me, because I like to be number one and the only one. This ain't for me. Yes, I've had men pay for things for me, buy me things. I'm like, you cool, but you flashing money. Without the money, who are you going to be? Like, if the ship go down with the money, so am I. I'm out. But I'm saying this, and somebody might take the video, Monique a gold digger. Yeah, whatever. I'm not. But what I'm saying is, you have to be clear on what you want and why you want that thing. Does the man that you want, what does he want? And you got to get clear on why you even want that. And I'm not saying that in a way to talk you out of it, but I'm just saying that in a way so that you know, what does that thing that you say that you desire, what would they do for you? Right? So if you say you want a man who wants money, you want a high value man, why? Because it looks good, right? Are you ready to put in the work, or be it separate? Because that man's got to be working. If you want a man who's making good money, maybe he's a consultant. He's traveling every week. Do you want to just see him on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday? Someone will be like, yeah, that's what I want. I'm cool. I like my alone time. That's what I really need. But other women are going to be like, oh no, I'm working a lot too. When I come home, I want us to be together. I want us to have, create good memories together, and be up under each other, cuddle, da 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 da. I'm not shaming your desires. That's the word I'm going to stay away from, because shame is just like, it's getting hot up in here. Turn on the AC. It was trying not to waste no gas, but let's go ahead and turn this on, because I don't want to sweat out my pressing curl, because I just did it last night. All right, so boom. So I'm saying this to say that what I admired about Kevin Samuels was, number one, that he spoke the truth. He said the things that I was afraid to say that you probably wouldn't even receive coming from a woman. And number two, he started conversation, the crucial conversations that need to be had in order to change the trajectory of what we're seeing now. In order to strengthen our community, the Black community in particular, is going to require us to be confronted with the hard truths, with the harsh and the hard truths, so that conversations can be sparked. So that, when I'm hanging out with my girlfriends and someone like, hey, you heard of Kevin Samuels? We like, yeah, girl, yes, girl, I like him, I don't like him, da 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 da. That is the type of leadership that we needed. And I just think it is very unfortunate that he has passed away at this time, but he has left his mark. He has left his mark. And for that, I salute. I also want to say, in terms of the man that you want, what does he want? When you really start to think about that, the truth is, I'm going to talk about this later. The truth is that oftentimes when you get what you want, we self-sabotage, right? And from what I can tell, the women who presented themselves, like who came on the live, who didn't know what they want, or like when Kevin would like confront them and question them and basically dissect their desires, there was no what? It was almost like you don't know what you're getting into. Like, I don't think these women really have any idea of what they really want, what they're getting into. Because he was talking about professional men. I'm sure my thought will come back to me. Let me go ahead and look at some of these questions. Are you serious? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what a fan in... What is that? I don't even know what that is. Yeah, go ahead and, and this is good. Somebody's like, I'm shocked. Why are y'all shocked? Why are you shocked? I'm curious about that. Why are you shocked that I said, I'm happy he was in the marketplace? Why? You're indifferent about it, but yet you're shocked, and so you unsubscribe. Why? How you gonna be indifferent and then mad at me? Yeah, see, I agree. I don't agree with him telling mothers to not believe their daughters if they have been sexually assaulted. See, I don't know anything about that. About that comment, about him telling daughters, like moms telling daughters not to believe or something like that. I'll tell you what, I don't know anything about that part. I have not seen the video. I will say that he has said some things that I don't agree with everything that he says, right? But in totality, I think that he was in the right direction. Also, I'm also wise enough and do my due diligence enough to know that I'm not going to take a comment what somebody said on the internet and then it has been reposted and, you know, down the internet train before looking at the entire video. I mean, that just goes to that whole your average thing, right? Because when I first saw the video, I was like, oh, wow, ouch, that is really bad. When I saw the little clip on the internet on Facebook. But when I went to the video, I was like, okay, I see what's going on here. I see the teachable lesson that he was trying to use on his platform, which is really his right, because if any woman's gonna go on there, you have to like abide by the house rules. So anyway, my whole point is this was to say rest in peace, you know, especially to his family. I hear his mother found out on the internet, and that is just tough. I believe that's what happened with Kobe's wife too. That's just so unfortunate. But more so to iterate his perspective and his point of view, and the question that he answered, his brand answered is, the question that his brain's answer is, the man that you want, what does he want? What does he want? And what do you even want? And why do you want it? Not from a place of, again, saying you can't have what you want, but to let you know what it's really going to take to get that thing. And some women don't want to do the work. That's it. That's the problem right there. Some women don't want to do the work. We want it to be easy. We want people to cater to us. That's what we have been told, because women right now have been elevated in America, I should say. The average woman has been elevated just by all the resources that are available to us in turn, you know, just all the resources that are available to us specifically, especially for business owners. And so it's just something to consider before you try to like elevate yourself above the man. I think this is what I wanted to say going forward, because if you begin to judge men and just about, you cannot have what you judge. If you know that you want a loving relationship, you have to respect the thing. You have to respect men. You have to have love for them in your heart, period. You can't listen to a man like, oh, he hate women because he's trying to get people on the right track. For Kevin Samuels, he was like a father figure to me. My father passed away when I was younger. You know, when I was 17, he died from ALS. And I will say that I have looked for provision, that type of provision that my father had given, and even not, because, you know, how daddies can be sometimes. But that's what I knew that I wanted on my list. Somebody who can lead. When I say provision, I'm not just talking about financial. I'm talking about leadership. I wanted a man that I could respect enough to yield to, and I got that. And because I got that, and because I wasn't used to dealing with a man like that, right, for a lot of reasons, for, you know, adopting behaviors from my mom, who is an awesome person. She's just a victim of her circumstances and who she had to be as a Jamaican immigrant coming into America, raising 3 kids, 2 of whom are boys on her own in Detroit proper. Like, you already know the outcome of that, right? Like, who you going to be a little bit. Type of woman who always like looking over her shoulder, like, you know, because of where I grew up. A type of woman who has a little edge, a little rawr, because of where I grew up and the environment that I was in. What was I saying? So anywho, yes, rest in peace. And again, you probably don't want to hear this, but it needs to be said. And hopefully, you know, that all of his work and content and material will not be in vain. And that, again, I was saying that what I liked about him and what I admired about him in the marketplace is that he started conversations, the difficult conversations, because oftentimes we don't want to see ourselves when we are really, you know what the reason why I married my husband. You want to read, because at first I was like, oh, sorry, no, but there was always something that really was like, I need this in my life. I need to be hearing this, because when he checked me, I felt exposed, and he didn't take my stuff. That's one of the main reasons why I married him. And of course I knew that life was going to be fun. To go back to what I was saying about the values, because money comes and money goes. So you have to get the man that you want, that you can see yourself building a life with. because it's mommy and daddies in the homes that are going to produce strong families and strong communities. And a lot of the stuff that we're seeing out in the world is because where the mommy and daddy at? Mama, if it's a single home, she ain't even got no time. She tired. She tired. She only got time, like the energy to raise kids for real. In a way that like like to really give her full self, unless she can. Kudos to those women. So before, like, any woman who's celebrating death, that's just really unfortunate. We talk about toxic masculinity, but that's really toxic. But again, I also get it too. Like, it's life. Sometimes you think people, that's what they get. But for a lot of the messages, even if you don't agree with the totality, then what good can you take from it? What good can you take from that? And then separate that and be like, okay, this is what they said, but everything else is trash or whatever. Now let me look at some of these comments. I guess a lot of your content has gone over your subscribers' head. Why would you say that? I wouldn't say it's gone over my subscribers' heads. If that's the case, they probably wouldn't be a subscriber. Okay, now look, somebody said, he said allegations need to be investigated. See, that's what I'm saying. You got to get the truth for yourself. It's like the Bible. You got to get the word for yourself. Oh, DAMN agent. Listen, if that's something, if that's like something y'all gonna have to write, I don't even know what that, I might have to look that up, unless that is DAMN agent. Then there are some people on Facebook, on here on YouTube, I'm like, y'all sound like a plant. Okay. Who I just want clout, girl? Bye. It's true. You do have to follow who you want. Yeah, I don't agree with that, Jose. I didn't agree with him telling a woman to fornicate, but I heard a lot of truth in his messages. Right, that's what I'm saying. I didn't agree with that part either. But I understand the context of what he was saying. So what I'm saying is, and what I would encourage women to do, is to take what you're hearing in totality before you make a straight, quick judgment. Take it all in totality. And happy Mother's Day. Thank you. We just came from church, came from brunch. It's nap time now. So ladies, I'm gonna be back on here tomorrow to talk about my own stuff. But I just want to say RIP Kevin Samuels. I hope your family stays blessed. I hope you took care of your business to make sure that they were. And listen, ladies, catch me on here tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Monday. I don't think I'm gonna be on here tomorrow.